So welcome back. Joining us, we have Garcia Reid, a marketer, a branding strategist, and engagement specialist. She grew up in an atmosphere where she was viewed unfavorably due to her skin tone and her hair type. She joins us to explain how she overcame her past. Welcome, Garcia.
Thank you, Nisha.
First of all, who is Garcia? Tell us.
Garcia is a perspective shifter.
A perspective shifter.
A perspective shifter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what it is that you tell me, 9.5 times out of 10, I am going to shift it to something positive.
Okay.
Regardless of what is happening, I'm going to tell you, but you know, there is also this perspective available.
Yeah.
Have you thought of this?
And I love that because sometimes we are, because of how we view things, bad things always come to us. You know about bringing things to you. And if you consistently look for like negativity, you'll always find negativity.
Because what you focus on expands.
Expands. All right. Talk the things. We mentioned earlier that you were viewed unfavorably because of your skin tone and also your hair. Tell us about some of those experiences growing up.
A lot of verbal abuse came out of that. Words that were not necessarily positive for a child to hear. Mm-hmm. But because for me, I thought, if these are the people who are supposed to love me and I don't feel loved, it means I have to give that to myself. Mm-hmm. So everything I heard, I told myself the opposite.
So even as a young person, you have
even
those
as a young
skills
person,
to that awareness to be like, you're lying, definitely yes. You're a liar.
To this day, it still blows my mind that I intuitively knew that.
How did those emotions affect you mentally, particularly as a child coming up? How did that affect you?
It did not start affecting me until I went to university because I was focused. For me, I had somewhere to go. I needed to get out of this situation. And so it was tunnel vision, go to school, do well, read widely, do what you have to do to get out of this situation. So I didn't have time to think about anything else or to process anything because I was focused on getting to university.
Beautiful. So you just mentioned it wasn't until university that a lot of things that were told to you younger kind of came up. And I know that you faced depression at university, and that caused you to like have a U-turn and turn towards God.
Yes.
For help, tell us how that process was with your depression and some of the steps that you may have used to overcome that depression during university.
Things culminated. I realized I was slipping into depression, but kind of avoidance. Things culminated, and mentally I felt like I was losing my grip on reality, and I attempted suicide. Mm-hmm. A friend found me, went to the hospital, worked through that, but I remember standing in my room and looking up in the ceiling and was like, God, it's you and I, because the help that I need and require is beyond human help.
Yes.
And so you and I are doing this. You have plans, you have purpose for me, and I thank you for that. But you and I are doing this, so show me the way, show me the steps. And I kind of just let it go.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. Like you said, you attempted suicide and your friend found you. So yes. God had a purpose and a plan for you to be here.
Yes.
So obviously that was not his plan for you, not his best for you. Can you share with us some of the moments that you felt the presence of God, you experienced the presence of God in your life? Can you share some of those experiences with us? One
that comes to mind vividly is I was driving home from work one day, and at the time I was living in Montego Bay, and I remember it was heavy traffic and there was a taximan overtaking the line of traffic. There wasn't anywhere for him to go, but he was coming towards me, and there wasn't anywhere for my car to go. I don't know anything that happened between me entering the bridge and ending the bridge, but everything between that moment is blank.
Wow.
And I remember coming across the bridge and I pulled off the road and I started to cry, and I'm like, what just happened? I do not know how I got across the bridge without getting in an accident. I don't know where the bus went. I don't know where my car went. I just know that I was okay.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. How did you encounter, what was the process for you that took you to having such a relationship with God?
Wanting to live and having this feeling that I am here to do something great. I am here to do something amazing. And I cannot do it alone, but I also feel like it's beyond human help.
Powerful.
That's the feeling that came to me, and I started to pray fervently. Started getting up at 4:30, having devotions with God, writing letters to God, just as if to say I was sitting on a couch with a therapist.
Yeah.
I started to write the letters to God, pouring out my heart, telling him everything I was going through, telling him, okay, this is what I think I need, but I am also open to something better. I am also open to it being better than I expected, better than I hope. I trust you and I trust your plans.
Beautiful. Garcia, listen, in this day and age right now, so many persons are struggling with depression, struggling with mental illness. I know that coming off the back of COVID, a lot of us, I feel, we don't realize the trauma that ensued, like in our bodies. You know what I mean? I think we're going to see a lot of persons really struggling over the next couple of years and further unpacking what they went through. What advice would you give to persons at home because sometimes depression is not something that you want to let everybody know that you're going through, or even that feeling, like you mentioned earlier, feeling isolated, feeling like an outcast. What advice would you give to persons watching that may be going through that now, perhaps don't want to tell nobody, don't want nobody to know because, you have to brave through the thing. What advice would you give to persons?
Your thoughts aren't facts, and your feelings aren't facts. Though valid, they're not facts. They are...
Thoughts aren't facts and your feelings aren't facts. That's a word.
They are replicas of the state of being that you are in at that moment. Your brain is going to feed you information from the past, and you have to see it as that and know that you're going to have to push through. The information that your brain is giving you is from past experiences, and you have to create new experiences if you're going to change the situation. But your thoughts, when they come, allow them to come, feel them, be with them, question them. Ask yourself, is this really true? Is this so? Why? How so? Who said that? Question the thoughts. Don't question them with an expectation for them to respond to you in the moment, but question them.
Yeah, I think that's a word. My mom used to say to me when I was younger, like when I had my daughter, and sometimes you don't want to you're feeling a little. And mommy would be like, get up, have a shower, get your hair done, put your makeup on. Just sometimes
cold shower.
You change your situation just by changing your situation, Are there any positive outcomes that you would like to share with persons about how to get up and get out, how to, gusto and get on with it, that you'd like to share with persons before we wrap?
I would say music is therapy.
Aye.
Music is therapy. Listen as much of it as possible. Listen music that you feel. Music that makes you feel like, yes, I am beautiful. I am amazing. I have somewhere going. God has plans for me. This life, there is more to life than whatever I am experiencing now. There is a lot more to life, and I am here to experience it to its fullness.
I love that, because sometimes when we feel sad, we want the sad music,
You want the sad music.
You feel like you cry, you want the music to make you cry. Like, why do that? If you're feeling sad, I do it, don't get me wrong. You're like, It's like, don't do that. Put on something that makes you happy.
I think what happens is people tend to feel like there's a facade if you don't feed into the sadness, which is not true.
Not true. You have to trick the mind sometimes. Quickly, how can persons find you on social media?
My IG is Garcia Reid _. You can find me on Twitter as well at Garcia _Reid.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I know persons are really going to appreciate what you said today, this morning. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Garcia Reid. She's a marketer, a branding strategist, and engagement specialist. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Guys, stay with us because Amanie performs when we return. Join us.